August 1st, 2025. We are looking at 10 cars today. I picked five, Johnny picked five, and we're going to see if these cars are nut worthy. These are five auctions that have either ended this week or going to end in the next couple of days. I want to introduce my good pal here. His name is Johnny Miata. He's my favorite lug nut. And there he
Hi,
is.
Stace. What's going
Hey,
on?
man.
How are you?
I'm great. Today we're going to look at some cars today. We're going to talk about some prices on these cars, auctions that all ended this week. And there's just a divergence in the kinds of cars that you and I chose. And the assignment this week was, well, let me just see if you understood the assignment.
All right, so we were looking at cars that we would like to own. And
Correct.
the way that I took that was forget about all the trends, forget about like what's like cool. What do
Yeah,
you like and what would you like to buy? That's the way I took it. Did
that's
I
right.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I
That
did all right.
that's it exactly. So the idea was let's look at some recent auctions or current auctions and pick some that we'd like to own. And so we went at this a different way, and I'll just show you our picks.
All right, so I am not looking at your picks, even though I kind of know what they are already. But let's just go with what I thought. I picked five cars that I would like in my garage right now. As you can see, they're not necessarily high dollar. As a matter of fact, they're kind of low dollar vehicles.
Yeah,
So, with
low
that
rent.
said, are yours also low dollar vehicles?
A couple of them are. A couple of them are stratospheric. Two of them are specifically stratospheric prices. There's a couple of affordable cars in there. You're going to see that when we get to them. We're going to go through each one of these, and these are all auctions that ended at some point this week. So let's jump to this right now. We're going to ask each other whether we think these cars are nut worthy. Essentially, would you give left or right nut to own one of these cars?
Yeah. So, proving that I understood the assignment or didn't understand the assignment, the first car
Whoops.
that I picked was this 1970 Porsche 911 sort of fake race car. And we've already had an episode about whether or not 911s are overrated, whether or not they're overvalued. And so me picking a 911 right out of the gate is me just kind of flying in the face of
Yeah.
convention or falling right into convention. Here's my
Yeah.
deal.
Well, we'll tell since you said values. I mean, do you want to tell us about the what this thing closed for, and if you thought it was worthy?
Yeah, so this car closed at $66,000. And if you look at the long hood 911 market, that's pretty much, I don't know. I think that that's actually a good value if you don't look at the car too closely. And what I
Why is
mean by
that?
that is, look, this thing has bad body work. It has a lot of decals
Wait, do
hiding.
I thought when I saw this thing, I thought that the decals might be trying to obscure some of the bodywork.
I think that the paint, for example, somebody would say it was painted with a brush, but that would be disparaging to brushes everywhere. Like, it's bad. It's got bad paint. It's got bad body work.
Yeah.
And it's got this undeniable, at least for me, cool factor that makes me want it. The CBA fog lights on the hood, they do it for me.
hmm
The fact that it's not pristine, that it's not really, really nice, and that I could drive it, beat it, park it in sketchy areas,
Yeah.
and it's loud and obnoxious. I love this thing way more than I should. The logical part of my brain says, dude, don't even go anywhere near it. But the emotional side of me goes, man, I really want to drive a race car sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
Tell me about the key. Wait a second. Speaking of race car, tell us about the key.
So the key, as far as I know, Porsche race cars of the period use drilled out keys because every ounce counted, right? So it's a lightweight key. I
Yeah.
love the fact that it's worn. I love the fact that it's as patinaed as the rest of the car, which is to say that the key's as big of a piece of shit as the rest of the car. Um, why do I love this thing so much? And I guess the only other part is, while $66,000 seems like a lot of money for a car that is not all that nice, but when you compare it to other 911s of the period, I
Mhm.
don't think it's a bad deal. And me personally, I would love to drive this thing around. I'd love to do cars and coffee. I'd love to do rallies. I'd love to take it to the grocery store.
All right. Well, the question that we have to answer is, what's it worth to you?
I mean,
would you give a nut for this? Would you bid your left nut?
I would bid my left nut, but not both. I'm going to need one nut left. So I'd bid my left nut for this thing. I love it. I don't want to, but I do. I love it. I love it. I want it.
Yeah.
How about you? Come on.
Well, I would not. I just think it's going to be problematic. I think I've had problematic cars in the past. I have problematic cars now, and there's a certain thing that as car enthusiasts we all give up for the cars that we want, and this one's not doing it for me. Sorry.
All right, so let's go on to your car.
Yeah, so this is a Daytona Spyder. However, this is a converted Daytona Spyder. It's not a real Spyder. And there were only like 127 real Spyders made. So this one, not real.
Okay. Now, it's a real Ferrari. Like, it's not a Crockett Daytona.
No, it's not it's neither Crockett nor tub of shit. It is a real Ferrari. Now, back in the day when I worked at a restoration shop, I would get to drive cars like this on a daily or weekly basis. And one of my jobs was to do quality control. Like, I was the last person to touch a car before it would go back to a customer. And so I would have to drive them for an extended period of time just to make sure they're not going to break down. For the customers who wanted to drive their cars, there are people who just going to park them and look at them, but there are people who actually like to drive their cars. And so we had a fake Daytona Spyder. It was real Daytona, but it had been converted to a Spyder. And I would drive this thing occasionally. I remember taking my kids to daycare, both kids to daycare in this. They were small at the time, and I only had to drive like a mile from my house. Nonetheless, I love this car. And there, like I was saying, there are a couple of ways that you can tell a real from a fake Daytona. The 3 or 4 ways that I know of is the A-pillar. The A-pillar on the Spyder, a real Spyder, is going to be much thicker.
Okay.
But an obvious one is this piece of door trim. See how it has this 90-degree angle on it?
Yes.
Make that larger. So on a coupe, that would just come straight back. On the true Spyders, there's that 90-degree angle there. There's another tell, and this is another piece, is the fender wells made of steel. On the coupes, they were fiberglass. On the Spyders, they were steel, I think, to add a little bit more rigidity. This is a magnet. I don't know if you guys can see that in the auction, the magnet is showing that it's metal, or that's what that is. And there's another way to tell, and I couldn't see it in the photos. It's if you look in the engine compartment, beyond the engine compartment, there's a piece of sheet metal that is welded over the tube frame just for more rigidity. The coupes don't need it, but the Spyders had it, and I couldn't see if this had it or not. So this is a car. You're going to say something? Go ahead.
No. I'm listening. I'm pointing.
So there's a thing in the collector car world, especially in the Ferrari collector car world, about fakes, right? Or clones or tributes. I don't mind those things. I don't mind those things as long as we're honest with them. The value of a real Daytona Spyder is between $2.5 and $3.3 million. This is from Sports Car Market. Lovely publication. If you guys don't subscribe, you should subscribe to it if you want to see car values in real time. This is the pocket guide that they put out. A regular Daytona coupe you see is about $500,000 to $1 million. I say for somebody who wants to own and drive a Spyder, this is the one you get. You get the conversion, and then you can drive it, and you're not really going to lose any money on it. This sold for $470,000, which is right around the base price or the bottom of what a number 3 condition coupe would go for. So I think this is good all day long.
So riddle me this.
Yeah, go ahead, Joker.
How much would the conversion cost?
Oh, well, they're not being done now. They were done back in the day.
So you can't convert. I mean, you can do anything with enough money, but like it's not common to convert a coupe now.
Correct.
So if a coupe is worth 750, did I see that correctly?
They're worth a little bit less. So,
Uh,
well, yeah, let's say average. You're right. So the average, I noticed the
750.
arrow is in the wrong spot. So if you, so it's GTB, the
Oh,
four.
I got you. 490. Yeah. So 490 to
Yeah.
950. Fine. This one sold for super cheap. So are these conversions? Because I don't like to call them fakes. They're conversions. It's
Hey, let's
look,
be careful with our words there.
the C3 Corvette is a conversion, right? Crockett's car is a is a fake.
Correct.
Whereas this left the factory as a Ferrari. Are these cars worth less than if they were just kept as a coupe?
Yeah, they're worth a little bit less, I think. I would say, I don't know if it's, well, not a little. I would say 15%, 15% less. And if I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Somebody will. Okay, so okay, interesting. I think I'm following the rationale, and that is,
oh, good.
hey, for significantly less money, right? What are you talking about? It would be. Did you say 2 to 3 million for a real convertible, like a real Spyder?
Yeah, they start at like 2.5.
2.5. So
Let's say
2.5.
$3 million.
And for 400,000, you can get all of the experience.
Correct.
500,000, 600. You can get all the experience. Look,
Correct.
the cheapskate in me. This is a stratosphere that I don't ever go to, as evidenced by the 5 cars I picked. But
Mhm.
I get the value proposition here. I would,
Yeah.
if there was a much less expensive version of this, I would be all over it. Yeah, if I had $500,000 to play with, it would be hard to argue something having more value. It
Yeah.
looks all the $3 million for a fraction of that cost. I would
Right.
both nuts. Both nuts.
Yeah, same here. Two
It's a
nuts.
lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of car.
It's a lot of car.
All right, speaking
Wow,
of
by
a lot of
comparison,
car.
gosh, this is a letdown. We are now moving on to a golf all track, and the thing about me is whatever's going on in my life currently usually bleeds out into everything else. So I'm currently looking for another car. It's a long story. I love Volkswagens. I'm looking at Volkswagens, and current new Volkswagens are kind of soulless and bland. And so now I look back 6 years ago at what was on the docket for Volkswagen. What were they offering? And at the end of their production runs were some really compelling vehicles. In 2019, you could go to the Volkswagen dealer and you could get a station wagon with all-wheel drive and a manual transmission. Doesn't that sound awesome? Like, wouldn't you like to drive as your daily?
Yeah.
Something that's fun and interesting and small and not an SUV.
Correct.
Like, I enjoyed this 6 years ago. I almost bought one, but it wasn't quite enough space for where we were at.
Did you, here's the question. Did you tell me that you test drove this?
I've test drove several of these, both the Jetta Sports Wagon, the Golf Sports Wagon, and then the All Tracks. I love them, but at the time, it was just a little too small for what I needed. My kids were much smaller and had much more stuff.
Mhm.
But 6 years later, where I rarely see my kids anymore, and I'm usually taking one at a time places, I keep looking back at these. If Volkswagen offered this right now as a new car, I would buy it immediately. Instead, when I go to the Volkswagen dealer, I can get a little SUV or a medium-sized SUV or a big SUV.
Well, yeah, but
Or an
let's talk
electric
about,
SUV.
but oh, yes, but let's talk about you buying one of these right now, because this one with 22,000 miles seems like it's almost brand new.
It certainly does. And yeah, so that's
Was it well
how.
bought? Was it well sold? What do you think? How much did this thing go for?
Well, here's my hypothesis on this, and again, another car that we'll get to in a little while. Look, I can't go to the Volkswagen dealer anymore, or really any other dealer, and find a manual all-wheel drive station wagon. They're done. They don't exist. Everybody wants an SUV. Everybody except me. So
Yeah.
if the new car market isn't giving me what I want, now I'm looking to the used car market to satisfy my needs. And so what you're seeing, at least what I think I'm seeing, is cars like this Volkswagen with low miles. It's got 22,000 miles on it. It is in obviously excellent condition. These cars are already increasing in value. I gotta be honest, I don't remember what this car closed at, but it was a significant amount of money.
You had one job. You had one job.
I know. I think in the other ones I put. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it closed at 35. Okay. It was either that one or the other one. Anyway, the point is, all tracks are not losing value. They're actually kind of slightly increasing in value because there weren't a ton made. Nobody bought them. Yeah. I really can't fault Volkswagen for abandoning the enthusiast market. We're a bunch of jerks. We're like, hey, why don't you make this amazing thing? And then we're not going to buy it because, you know, I have little kids, so I need a big, stupid SUV. So, I mean, Volkswagen responded to the market, but we all lose because I now can't find a fun daily driver from a new car dealer. So now I'm looking at a 6-year-old Volkswagen.
But if you found, so this one's 22,000 miles. Let's say somebody out there, I'm sure there's somebody out there who has one for 5,000 with 5,000 miles. What is it worth if it's essentially a new car to you?
I mean, I think that you're going to see that it's going to exceed its MSRP if it hasn't already. And you definitely see through the comps that cars are selling for 30, 33, 35,000, which is about what they sold for new when they're, you know, super low miles, super clean cars. I definitely see these not only as a fun daily, which is what I'm looking for, but something that's not going to lose money over the next 5 years. So how cool is that? Like, I can either go to the Volkswagen dealer now and I can go get a Taos, and in 5 years, it's going to be worth 30% of what I paid for it. And it's also not engaging and not fun. Or I can buy this thing and enjoy myself and then sell it at the end and potentially make some money.
So you're going to give a nut for this?
Yeah. I mean, based on what I've been seeing at new car dealers, like, both nuts, because I can't replicate this. I can't.
Guys, just to be clear, this is what John's going to give 2 testicles for. Okay.
And every day, and may I just say, this was what was closing this week. The only difference, maybe I even would have bid on it if it was Tornado Red. I happen to have an affinity for red Volkswagens. If it was Tornado Red, definitely both nuts. Okay. As a gray one, my left nut. So, yeah, there we are.
All right.
No, I have not convinced you. I can tell. I can see your face.
No. That's right. It's television. Okay. Stace's next car. So this is an auction that's ending today, I believe, or in the next couple of days. This is a 97 Diablo SV. When I looked at this auction, it had some ways to go. It was currently at 230. I think this thing is closing at 335 when it closes. Oh, it's closing next week. So I looked at this yesterday. I took the screenshot. So it's got a ways to go. I think it's going to 335.
Do you think that the pseudo celebrity ownership?
Okay.
I like Ed, if he's watching, which he probably isn't, but if he was, like, man, I would love to tell a car story on your cute little website with 2 million followers. Do you think Ed's ownership impacts the price?
Well, it's interesting because and you can see he's commenting, right? And he's actually selling it himself. It's not like consigned by him. So you can see he's active in the auction. You know, and if you are a fan of his, and I have no reason not to be, you know, it's fun to interact with a YouTube celebrity, somebody who's Instagram famous. I think sometimes celebrity ownership can impact value positively, but I think in some instances, like for instance, I think he's only put 1,500 miles on this car, but we've seen him driving it. We've seen what he's done to the car. We've seen what he's doing with the car. So that's a little bit different. I think a lot of times we want to have an idea in our head, or we want to believe that this is a virgin to us, right? We want to believe that the car we're buying, somebody may have owned it, 100 people may have owned it, but nobody's really driven it. And we want to be the first person. Like, but when we see somebody else having driven this thing, it's like sort of meeting your wife's ex-boyfriends. You know, it's like you don't want to do that. It's like,
I was going to say a spouse in porn. I'm so glad, like, your way was so much better and more refined.
Wow.
How awkward.
Well, the show is called Bid Less Nut, so
That's a good point. The gloves are off here.
yeah.
I get what you're saying, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you, the VinWiki app. I don't know if I know you're familiar with it, but really familiar with it.
I'm not
Basic.
really familiar with it.
Okay, so basically, it just tracks the history of a car.
Mhm.
Because it's all well and good that we can go to Carfax and see that a car has damage, but it doesn't really tell you what the damage is. What
Mhm.
VinWiki does is it allows you as a car owner to have this account of your car that's public domain. Like, yeah, there's a ding on Carfax, but let me tell you what it was. A little old lady hit the bumper, and I had, just the section of the bumper painted. You can't tell. It is perfect. It was really next to no damage, which you're never going to get out of Carfax. So VinWiki is great. I mean, that's how Ed's channel started.
Yeah.
Was supporting VinWiki. Um, this car specifically, I mean, I'm not a Lambo guy anyway, so it's kind of hard for me to put that down. I do like, because I've watched a couple videos of Ed showcasing the car, how ridiculously honest he seems to be, right? Like, Ed does a great job of saying, look, man, it's driver paint. I don't want you to expect perfection.
Right.
And it's also well documented that all of Ed's cars have stories behind them.
Mhm.
Usually not. This car was kept on a cloud his cars have had some things happen.
And that's where celebrity ownership can be good or bad.
How much do we think this is going to go for? 335?
That's what I think. I think it's going 335. It's
So
not going, but you can see values. Let's see here. So values are on the increase. If we take a look from 2020, values
yeah.
are definitely moving up. This is Bring a Trailer data.
Would you own this car?
I might. I wouldn't own it today. I wouldn't own it as one of my only cars. I like the Diablo more than I like the Countach. I like it better than I like the Murcielago. I like it better than the Aventador. The Diablo might be my favorite. I don't like it better than a Murab.
Glad you said that, because I was going to jump through the screen. That's hard to do.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want any more violence from you. I mean, I don't know if anybody's noticed,
Okay.
John's nose is all beat up because he
got
got
hit
into.
by a hose caddy. I was
That's
reeling in the
embarrassing.
hose caddy, and it was hanging up a little
Make
bit. And I got so mad that the whole handle came off, and it hit me in the nose, and I fell to the ground. It was amazing. I hope at least one of my neighbors was watching while I did that.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I'm sure there's video of it somewhere. I would not give both nuts for this. Whereas for the Daytona, I would. Yeah, I'm all in on the Daytona here. If the opportunity is right, and I had $500,000 or $250,000 laying around. Oh wait, do you want to tell us? Do you want? Okay.
Oh, would I? I would not. I can't.
Hard
The
pass.
amount
Okay.
of money for what it is. Do I think it's going to go up in value? I think so. Although it's also interesting that like every YouTuber in the world is dumping their hypercars at the moment. It seems to be another trend that's going on. So if you don't have YouTube money buying these cars, is this market going to faceplant? We'll see. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. No nuts.
All right.
Hey, speaking of no nuts, good segue.
No balls.
So remember a couple of minutes ago when I was talking about the heyday of Volkswagen, where nobody was buying their cars, even though they were like compelling and exciting and fun,
and had good advertising behind them.
Yeah, the advertising, the whole thing. It was like they were selling fun cars that were different and exciting, and nobody wanted them.
Right.
And look, to beat a dead horse, I chose 2 of my 5 cars. That's how emphatic I am about the disappointment I have as I'm looking at new Volkswagens, and there's nothing that I am even remotely interested in. I love Volkswagens. I want to be interested, but in what? A little SUV or a bigger SUV? We already did that. A big SUV. They're all SUVs. I don't want one. I want something fun. So, this car. Ooh, I just broke the computer. This is the last of the Volkswagen Beetle convertibles. Yeah. And
the word. Can I just ask you a question about the name? the final edition is just so dreary. I mean, I would have gone in a different direction, like celebratory. I would have, being a brand expert as I am and doing naming at my agency, trustdeep.com, if anybody's looking for a good branding agency. Man,
It's a very nice marketing place. Wait,
yeah.
I just.
But anyway, the name of this, the final edition, it's like,
Yeah, it sounds terrible. It's like, you know what it sounds like? This is the final edition, and from here on out, we're going to sell really boring SUVs
yeah,
and an ID Buzz for $70,000.
yeah.
So
What would the it's the final countdown. That's what it sounds like to me. Exactly.
I can't hit that high note anymore. I used to. Anyway, final edition. And this thing has 7,000 miles on it. And it is selling, I'm pretty sure, over sticker price because there's not a ton of them. And look, it's exciting. It's fun. There's nothing in the market today that looks like this, feels like this. It is pure Volkswagen. And I think the final edition was the nicest one, obviously. Like the interior was like super premium.
Can I ask you a question about the interior? Is that painted? Is that plastic or is that painted metal? Because it looks like painted metal. It looks really nice.
It does. I believe it is plastic, and most of them are body colored. Although this one is a serious off-white compared to the pure white exterior.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one of the things that I liked about this car was to fit the assignment, it closed this week, so there was that. But in addition to that, the fact that it's a muted color, it's white, it's very simple. I think it's going to age well as opposed to some of the more flamboyant colors that they came in. Although I will say the final edition, I thought only came in like a sand color and a baby blue. So I'm a little confused by this one, but we're going to go with it. I like the white. And I don't know. I just like Volkswagen convertibles, and I'm really sad that I can't go buy a new one because I'm at the point in my life where, as I'm looking for a new daily, if they still sold this, I would probably buy it. But they don't sell it, and all I can get are mediocre SUVs.
Yeah, you said that. Like, this is the
Have I
fourth
mentioned
time.
that? I'm a little angry.
You are. Let me ask you a question about the wheel, though. Is that I can't really see with the reflection. Is that a badge that says on the bottom
Beetle.
there?
It says Beetle on the bottom.
Okay. It's got a partially flat wheel. That's a nice touch.
It is. I mean, you know, and look, it's part spin. Like VW is so famous for part spin, so I'm sure that was on the GTI or something else. But it's a good-looking steering wheel. The interior feels premium, but it's another car that you can drive reliably for the next 5 years. You're going to sell it for more than you paid for it, and it's kind of a hack, right? Like $35,000 for a 7,000-mile car. You drive it for 5 years. You sell it for whatever at 50,000 miles, still considered low mileage. You're winning at life. So I don't know. I feel so strongly about. Well, maybe I feel so strongly about this. I included it twice, maybe by accident. We don't know. But the end of that phase of Volkswagen, I think, will go down in history as the death of fun cars, at least for that manufacturer.
So
I would.
What's your verdict on this?
Left nut.
Left nut. Okay.
I'm not going in with both nuts, but I go in with left nut.
Yeah, I'm not going in with either.
I still didn't convince you.
You didn't convince me. No.
Man, you're a tough customer. No. I'm sweating. All right, let's see. What do you got? Oh,
we're just moving on. We're moving on.
Hard to argue.
Hard to argue. So we have a 2001 BMW M5. It's actually local to me in the Boston area. So it's not quite closed yet. I think it closes over the weekend. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's kind of closed over the weekend. I think this is going to 39. It was sold. It's an alum car, I believe. Oh, whoops. You guys don't see the technical difficulties on my end. Yeah, it's sold in 2020 for $49,000, which is strong money for it being an 80,000-mile car at the time.
And modified.
And slightly, it's got tasteful modifications, I would say.
This one is lowered.
It's lowered. It has a couple of tuning bits to it, but the current owner has put 8,000 miles on it. It's been in a slight accident. Again, the thing you said about when we're talking about VinWiki, so on Carfax, this has an accident. When you read the owner's comments here, he actually showed photos. I wonder if I put in a photo of the accident damage here. Yeah, so there's our Carfax accident reported, but we don't know what that is.
6 owners.
6 owners. No, I did not put in, but the rear bumper cover was replaced because somebody in Boston traffic, crazy. I never
I
heard
don't
that.
understand.
The story is very funny. He said like he was in bumper to bumper traffic and somebody was trying to go around him, I think, and hit the back corner of his car, cracked the bumper. The driver of the M5 gets out and says like, and he's about to say what's going on. The driver in the other car just curses at him in typical Boston fashion and speeds off. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's how you do it.
Yeah, Johnny, you lived in Boston. You know how it goes.
I have
you know how to play the game.
I have witnessed things that I've seen nowhere else in the country or the world. So you got a car that's got under 90,000 miles on it. Yeah. Got some tasteful mods.
Yep.
6 owners. I mean, it's a driver. It's never going to be more than that.
Well, that's why I think it's not going to the 49 that it had been. I don't think it's going up there. What do you think price wise?
These cars never cease to surprise me. Like the prices paid, it really depends on who's in the audience that week when the car's at auction, because you see some nice ones,
yeah,
but not perfect ones for 60. And then you see some rats for 20. And somewhere in between, this car is going to fall. It just depends on who's looking at it this week. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that if it sells for 40 or under, it's probably an appropriate amount of money to pay for the car. The fact that it has under 100,000 miles, I think that service records are paramount with these, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to know that the coolant system has been replaced and all the plastic has been taken out.
Right.
It does look like a tidy car. I love E39 M5s. I also like the 540s. I like the 540s because they're a little more understated. They're also cheaper, and I'm cheap. But yeah, I don't think this is a bad buy at all if that's where it sells. Like if that's where it bottoms out.
I am surprised. Oh yeah, would you own it? That's the question.
Would I own it? I've never owned a BMW. It's kind of a rule of mine not to.
I know.
And I'd like to break that.
Someday we're gonna do an entire episode about that, trying to get to the bottom of that psychosis that you have.
Converting a non-BMW owner to a BMW owner. I gotta say, like an E46 wagon, like really appeals to me. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of BMWs that really appeal to me, but for 39, yeah, I think I would try it. I think I would have a lot of fun with it, and I'd also get a little frustrated with it. And if that's not classic car ownership, I don't know what else is.
Yeah, I agree. This is worth at least one nut to me, just because you said the 540s are more understated, and I agree. I think that the M5 still flies under the radar for most people. It just looks like a used car at this point. Prices are increasing though. You can see the general trend upward over the past 10 years. So general trend. We did have a peak around 2023, and we're coming down slightly from there. But dang, I like this car.
Yeah, I like this car too. I think this was a good choice, and
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, John.
I'm into this. Hey,
moving right along.
So remember when I was saying earlier that my life also bleeds into like this show and everywhere else. So here's what I got going on.
Oh man,
we're having all sorts of car crises at the Casa de Marcos, Casa de Miata, and I have an 80 Series Land Cruiser, which I've talked about ad nauseum. I love my 80 Series Land Cruiser. I also have a 15-year-old who's about to start driving within the year.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I know that I could put her in an 80 Series Land Cruiser, it's also, there's part of me that it's 30 years old. It's got front airbags. I don't think they're going to even work.
No, they will work. I'd say this as somebody who I gave my daughter a 97 4Runner. And the reason I picked 97 was the first year for airbags. Was it 96 or 97? And I believe they're going to work. I love my children.
Yeah,
most days. The airbags are going to work, John.
The airbags are going to work. It's got front airbags, fine. But it's still 30 years old. It's still slow. It handles, it's 230,000 miles. I've maintained it. It's a nice truck. But when I start thinking about it, like, I won't take it. My parents live 6 hours from where I live, and I won't take it up there.
That's on purpose. That's on purpose.
That is their choice, not mine. Yeah. But they love me. They tell me I'm a good boy when they call at Christmas. Anyway, I have this Land Cruiser, and it's not serving all of my purposes. So fine.
So what do you think?
Let me look at the new Land Cruiser. And so I go to the Toyota dealer, and I look at a new Land Cruiser, and it's $75,000, $70,000. And it's not the same. I kind of like it, but I don't love it. And it's a 4-cylinder hybrid. It still gets 16 miles per gallon. It is not nearly as cool as the 80 series. So in between, and I don't know what my 80 series is worth, 20 grand, 15 grand, something like that. It's a nice, tidy vehicle. And then I have $70,000, $75,000 for a new Land Cruiser. So what's in the middle? It's my face. No. It's a 200 series that's well maintained, presumably, that is clean, that hopefully is rust-free. I mean, there are some pictures here that kind of suggest that it is rust-free.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 200 series Land Cruiser for $35,000 with 140,000 miles on it, you throw it into the service bay and tell them, do whatever it needs, and you will have a reliable, clean, fun to drive tank of a vehicle that for the next 10, 15, 20 years, nobody's ever going to go, oh, look at that old shitty SUV that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Land Cruiser. Like, it transcends time. It's kind of amazing. So
it's going to take you from now through the second Civil War. I mean, you're going to be Mad Max in this.
That is terrifying to me, because I just talked to so many people that freak me out. But yeah, sure.
You're welcome.
I mean, I'm go north, go wherever we are. I don't know.
Rome,
it's a great vehicle. It's a great vehicle. It still gets lousy gas mileage, but I can't think of selling my 80 series. I don't know what else I would replace it with. I'd be so sad to get rid of the 80 series, but if I get another Land Cruiser, maybe it would hurt a little less. So this is my choice. And it also closed this week. So that was one of our parameters. I know I've mentioned it before. The other part of this is it's gray. I don't like the black Land. I don't like black Land Cruisers. They're all black. They're all 200 series to me. Like 90% of them seem to be black with a black gut. I like the gray because it's not black.
Who would have expected that the gray car would have been the outlier?
Exactly, because every other car in the world is gray, and this one happens in Land Cruiser world. Gray seems to be more rare. I mean, forget it. If it was a blue one,
mind blown.
Anyway, for $35,000, I think you can spend your money a lot worse, because this thing will take you to the mountains. It'll take you to the beach. It'll serve as a reliable daily driver. I can put my daughter in it comfortably, knowing that it's got side airbags and knee airbags and front airbags and all sorts of safety features.
You convinced me on this one.
Yeah? One or two? Or three?
Just one.
Okay. One. Yeah, I would do one myself. I think if it had lower miles on it, maybe I would bump it up to both, but I think it's a good buy, and I would love to drive it and own it. And that was kind of what our episode was all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are going to move ahead from one kind of truck to another. Yes, 1991 Cyclone. I love these. I absolutely love these. So,
tell me about this. I know a little bit about these, but tell me about a Cyclone. What makes a Cyclone? What makes you psyched for a Cyclone?
Yeah, so so the history on the Cyclone, so 80s. The graphics so 80s. It's the velour interior also. Let's see if I have a photo of it. I wanted a photo of it, a side profile photo. I guess I didn't include one. So this was a regular midsize or Jimmy's small pickup truck entry at the time in the 80s, early 90s. What they did was they added a 4.3 liter turbocharged engine to this and all-wheel drive, making this thing faster than just about anything else on the road at the time. So I'll show you a magazine article a little bit later, but this car was tested against things like, the contemporary Corvette or Ferraris or 911s, and this was generally quicker in a straight line mostly. But I just, at the time, given like where I was in my life, and I owned a truck at the time, this is the truck I wish I had. However, this was not a real truck. So I think it had a payload capacity of 500 pounds, which people scoffed at the time and said, "Oh, it's not a real truck. What am I going to move for 500 pounds?" But 500 pounds today for trucks is more than 99% of truck owners would ever need, because I mean, most F-150s are just hauling you and three of your friends to Topgolf on a Saturday afternoon. They're not really hauling anything other than
got a lot of room for clubs in that F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. This was a performance truck.
What was it missing though? Do you know the one thing it was missing?
Class?
Get out of here.
What is it missing? Sorry.
What do you see here? What's it missing?
Oh, it's not a manual. Yeah, that hurts a little bit. So here's what I know about these things. If I understand correctly, this is the same motor that was in the Turbo Trans Am.
Yeah.
It is the same body style and same basic shape as a 1982 Chevrolet S10. You could fairly easily mistake the two if they were parked next to one another. They're very similar, which
correct
kind of adds the cool factor to me. The fact that, in 1991 you would have paid however much, $40,000 for this.
No, these were way less than that. I think they were under 30. I think they were like 27, 25, somewhere around there. No, I think they might have been like less than that. I think they were low 20s.
They were still 10 times the amount you would have paid for an 82 S10.
You're being mean.
No, I'm not. I genuinely love these. I am being mean because these are all the jokes that were around in 1991 when you bought this thing. Yeah. I love the engineering that went into it. It's so bonkers and insane. We have this really old platform, this ancient platform that we should retire. What are we going to do with it? Well, let's put the fastest motor GM has in it, and we'll put an all-wheel drive system, and then we'll beat Ferraris. What do you think? That's cool. I love engineers when they lose their mind, and this is definitely engineers that have gone crazy.
Yeah, Car and Driver tested this against a 348, and this was the Cyclone was quicker to 60, quicker through the quarter mile. I think it did the quarter mile in like low 13s, which was a big deal back then. Still is.
It still is. Those are
respectable.
Those are quick numbers.
0 to 60, I think 4.3, just like the engine.
My generic Tesla can beat it, but that doesn't matter. We're not talking about that right now. It's fine.
That makes me sad.
It's it was fast for its day.
Yeah.
It was insane for its day, and it's still
Mhm.
very cool today. What did this
Yeah.
sell for? What do these sell for?
I think this one sold for 29, 25. Let's go back. Yeah. Oh, 32.
32.
And you can get one that's middle of the road for these. So for like a sort of a trashed one, you can get them around 20. You
Yeah.
can also spend more. You can spend 100 grand on one that's pristine. But the question then becomes, just like a sagging headliner, how many nuts
That
would you
is a
give for this?
sagging headliner if I've ever seen one. That is
Yeah, and the
General
left,
Motors right there.
and you'll notice that the left side is sagging more than the right side.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
How long do you think you would have fun with this vehicle? Is this a long-term fun vehicle, or is it a one-trick pony?
I think it's more than one trick, but I don't think it's like take it out every weekend and come back saying, "Man, I can't believe this thing." I think you would get tired of it. This is actually no nuts for me, even though I mean, this would be, I would own one of these, but again, it would have to be within a collection of much more exotic or enticing cars, trucks, car
Yeah,
trucks.
for $32,000, I'd rather scrape together a couple more nickels and go for the M5. I think I would get way more enjoyment out of something like that.
Same here.
Um, I would also, man, you are a spoiler alert guy. Um, I would
I'm just
also,
trying to hint that we got to move on.
okay, I would also suggest that even the Jetta or the whatever that is, the Golf Sports Wagon, I would have more fun on a daily basis with that than I would with this.
Oh, there I got to disagree with you.
I wouldn't get the eyeballs. I understand that. But from a personal perspective of driving a manual every day with all my stuff, I don't know. Anyway, it's cool.
Yeah.
What's next? Okay, let me explain.
Yeah, you've got some explaining to do, Lucy.
So I know I've said this before. I'm going to say it one more time. It was what was for sale this week. And so the Miata is more representative of a Miata than it is this particular Miata. But having said that, this is a 47,000 mile 1991 Miata. It is a special edition. It's the first special edition with the British Racing Green paint, which I absolutely adore. This has some modifications, which I do not necessarily adore.
Don't tell me you don't like the Cocoa Mats, though.
I love Cocoa Mats. You'll never hear me disparage Cocoa Mats. I don't like the aftermarket stereo and the gold daisies. Come on, what are you doing? Oh, I took the center caps off, so now they look sporty. I would have to remedy that immediately. However, and the hard dog roll bar, I think that's what they're called. I get it. I don't want to like smush my head, but also, they just look lousy. But it's a British Racing Green 91 Miata.
How much did this thing sell for?
It's what?
How much did it sell for?
Oh, 15,000. It was about 15,000. Is that all the money for a 47,000 mile Miata? Yeah, kind of. I mean, if this was a little more sorted, I would say otherwise. It looks like it's also lowered, so I don't really know the quality of the materials in here. Yes.
Now, you said lowered, so there are multiple ways to lower a car.
There are.
One of them is just to let gravity do its thing. I'm guessing, and I have not read the description on this, unless you can correct me. I think gravity did its thing here. I don't think this is lowered with new suspension. And I say that because of the offset of the wheels. And I think somebody who would go through the trouble to redo the suspension and lower the car to improve handling and the way the car looks, I think also would have either used spacers or got something with a different wheels with a different offset just to push them out a little bit, because the fender overhang here is like bad overbite.
It's really bad. But also taking your thought process here, if somebody was going to go through the trouble to lower it correctly, and then they were going to offset, they were going to put some spacers on it to offset it correctly, they would have also masked the tires before they went nuts with the gold spray bomb. So, we're not dealing with somebody that has a strong attention to detail. And that's where I feel like I could come in. I could bring this back to a place where I think you would look at it and go, yeah, that's the perfect spec Miata. Now, $15,000 is all the money. I shouldn't have to do that. But I also enjoy that process of bringing a mediocre car to a really nice level. So I
Who
would
owns
pay a
this car?
premium to have a worse car, which sounds insane.
What kind of person would, if you can tell us quickly, what kind of person would want this car?
It's why are you setting me up to get in trouble?
No, I'm curious. Like, who drives this car?
I mean, I don't know, old white guys with white beards. Like,
Okay.
certainly.
This car specifically. I mean, who wants a somewhat ratty Miata Special Edition Miata 50,000 miles?
Me, based on the episode and what our objective is, I would.
Okay.
Like, this is my car. Like, I would, it's not literally my car, but like, this is my jam. And I would love to put some Panasports on it, have them spaced correctly, clean those seats because they're driving me nuts. I would love to take that stereo out and put something much better in there. I would just like to go through this car and give it what it deserves. Somebody needs to save this Miata, and I want it to be me. I guess that's where
Preservation Society. Here he is.
I love this car, and I would do it justice. I would make it right. Is it worth 15 grand? The British racing green cars are hard to find. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. I would say for 15 grand, I would get an E36 M3 convertible. And
that's
then
fair.
I wouldn't have to worry.
Personal history with the E36.
That's right.
Which leads us to the next thought process, which is, oh boy.
Come on, why is this happening?
The next thought process is, hey, when you have a personal connection to a car, does it make that car more valuable to you? Do you want it more? Is that personal connection, does that cloud our view or judgment where we're like, I don't want a Miata, I want an E36. Well, I want the E36 because I owned one before.
Yeah.
Where, like, how does that play into the what's valuable to you?
True.
All right, what's next?
Oh, I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. What's worse, the overhanging tire gap or the gap between the hood and the light?
I swear,
okay.
In the Miatas that I owned, I would pull up the headlight buckets like once a week to make sure they were flush. And I don't know how they sink, but they do. You always have to pull them up very gently.
Gravity, John. Gravity. All right, so we're coming to the last car in our 10-car wrap-up, and we started with one of John's picks,
Porsche,
which was sort of a fake race car, and then my first car was a fake Spyder. We're going with another sort of fake car here, and
okay,
but it's beautiful.
Oh,
a 2010 Alfa TZ3 Stradale Zagato. So I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. There were like 9 or 10 of them made.
I have never seen this. I don't know what it is. I am shocked. I'm in shock. I don't know what that is. That rarely ever happens. Tell me about this. Educate me.
I will. Okay, and there's a lot of storyline here. So if we take a look at this, and so I don't know if you're familiar with hold on, I'm going to pull up the original Zagato. This is what the car looked like.
Oh, that's
so. There was a TZ which stood for Tubulare Zagato. So tubular frame Zagato did the body style. There was a TZ, there's a TZ2, and there were race cars and there were road cars too, and they're just gorgeous. I only have one car here just to show you like because people in the Bring a Trailer auction, the uneducated were like, why do they make it like this? It doesn't look good, or like, what were they trying to do? Like, I hate when people say things like, some jackass sitting at home is like, this is what they should have done. Oh, Tony, I'm sorry we didn't ask you your opinion about how to design this car. We'll never make that mistake again.
We knocked on the basement door. You weren't home.
You weren't home. So anyway, so this is a tubulate Zagato. You would never guess what this car is built on.
A Fiero? Sorry.
Oh man, why do you have to be rude?
Sorry, because all kit cars are based on a Fiero.
It's not a kit car; it's a real car.
I'm a real boy.
It is built on the Viper.
What?
It is built on the Viper. So, and there's some family history, right? So Chrysler owned Fiat, I think, for a little bit of time.
Like
they
now.
also own. No, the Stellantis is a different thing. But before Chrysler, and Chrysler also owned Lamborghini for a time. So there's this whole connection. So this thing has a V10 designed by Lamborghini. So it's not that much of a stretch to say, hey, why is this bastardized Viper have an Italian badge on it? Well, there's sort of like, it's kind of a complex.
You're grasping at straws a little bit, but I'm taking all of those straws. I'm accepting that because this thing, I'm not a Viper guy, but I'm this guy.
Yeah. But there's some things that they didn't change. So the massive, massive coffin in the center of this car, otherwise known as a center tunnel, still here.
That's big.
They dressed it up.
Sized center console.
That's right. That's right. There are some other switchgear issues here, but for the most part, I mean, you look at the pedals; those are all like. If anybody here has, like, there are not a lot of cars that have these nice alloy pedals, but the Italians do it pretty well. But this is a gorgeous car. This is also a gorgeous car.
I like the offset of the wheels on the original. Like that looks so cool to me. That's where my eye is drawn to.
Yeah.
And I do like the way, all right, so I feel like not only is this if you know, you know, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I know a lot about cars. I feel like I know a lot about, I feel like I know, there's very few cars that I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before. What is that? This totally stumped me. But the attention to detail here where the wheels are mimicked from the original, I get it.
You know what we call those? It's a creative name. We call them phone dials.
I mean, the youngsters don't know what that is, but I'm an oldster, so I do.
I think these are the same taillights that are on my 4C. I think they use.
But this is a 2010, correct?
Yeah, the 4C actually came out in 2014 in Europe, 2015 here in the States. So I think it's just another parts bin.
When was this built?
11.
So they went into the future and got the taillights and came back?
Oh, no, the taillights on the 4C weren't built for the 4C. They were just parts bin.
Ah, all right. Chicken or the egg. I get it.
Yeah. Speaking of future, though, man, this would help me believe I lived in the 60s if I owned this. Let's talk about price for a second.
Yes.
I think this thing is going to close at under $600,000. Only 9 of them. Let me look at my notes. So, yeah, so this was number 4 of 9. It was built to celebrate Alfa's 100th anniversary. Oh, man, it was the same engine from the ACR-X.
Okay.
640 horsepower, V10, designed by Lamborghini. It's not perfect, but it's gorgeous.
If the Viper looked like this, I would be a Viper fan.
Yeah,
I think
it wouldn't be a Viper though. Viper is.
Why'd you show them that again?
Yeah, shut up. Viper couldn't look like this because Viper is so American looking. I get a sense of American from Viper. Also, like the new Corvette. The new Corvette, like if you had a Ferrari 458 and the Viper next to the new Corvette, newish Corvette next to each other, you can see that one is American and one is Italian. You can feel it. You can feel it, Johnny.
The new Corvette is the we have a Ferrari at home version.
Maybe.
That's my hot take. I like this.
These sold for more than $1 million new.
Here's the thing.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Am I shallow enough that if I'm going to spend $600,000, everybody better know what I have? Am I that shallow, or am I deep enough where I'm like, for $600,000, I want nobody to know what I have. Like, I want people to be like, I don't understand what that awesome thing is. I don't know where I fall on this. I don't know that I could give if I would bid on it or not, if I would want to own it or not. It's very, very interesting, and I really dig it. I don't know where I fall on it. It's awesome. How much is, let me ask you this. How much is an original?
I was going to get there.
Okay.
For that kind of money, I'd rather have an original. So you could get a Stradale, like the road-going versions, probably, I think, for 6 or 7. You couldn't get I don't think you can
6
get a
or
race
7
car.
million?
No, 100,000.
Oh, gosh. I'll take 2.
They were made over 5 years, I think, from 60 to 65, 61 to 65, I think. But I would take the original over.
All right.
Over
So
this.
let me play both sides of the aisle. The original is going to be really hard to take out and drive. Let's be honest. It's going to break. It's going to do all the Italian things. No offense, but it's gonna. You got a Viper in a Versace suit that you can take out whenever you want, and it will be American reliable. This is an inspired choice. I'm really, really impressed by this. I'm stumped. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. What if I told you it had carbon fiber bodywork? Would that bring you a little closer to wanting it? Or
the amount of carbon fiber that's required because it's so big is the problem. This is a plus size vehicle. Like, you can't tell from here, but if it's the size of a Viper and has the proportions of a Viper, she's thick. I mean, this is a big vehicle. And so I know from the original, that's a small diminutive. That's what makes it awesome. I think when you put the two sides, I'd love to see 2 of them side by side.
I wanted to find that. I didn't have time to create that.
This thing is going to look like, there's no way I can't be rude. So I'm just like trying really hard not to be, but that's a big girl. That was rude. I like it. I like it. Do my $600,000 like it? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out next week what I decide.
Again, the 600 is my prediction. I mean, so the auction ends a little bit later this afternoon, so we'll see if. And actually, on our next episode, we will see how I did with my predictions here. But yeah,
because you have cars that haven't wrapped up. Like, all my cars wrapped up.
Yeah,
I'm interested. That thing's cool. That's the coolest car I've seen in a while.
That's a genuine Johnny Miata smile you have going on.
It really is. There's so few cars. Look, the older you get, the more jaded you become. You go to a Cars and Coffee or other events, and you're like, yeah, that's nice. That's great. I've never seen one. Didn't know what it was. You made my day, man. That was cool.
That's the end of the show. And if you've hated the show, I hope you subscribe, because we'll have another one next week. Leave us some awful comments below.
What if they loved the show? Should they also subscribe?
They should subscribe and send us money. Send you money.
I would love money. If you want. It's up to you. It's all up to the audience.
Next week, I'll probably be back in the barn studio instead of here in lovely Vermont. The roads are gorgeous, and there are 3 police officers throughout the whole state, so you can enjoy driving.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure.
Yeah. Speed safely out there.
See you next week, everybody.